Hey friends, Deb here with Art and Grace. Come on in, let me know where you're watching from. So I'm going to turn this around. I've already started it because we've got 45 minutes and there's no way I could possibly finish in 45. So I did get a head start. All I've done is paint the background in a turquoise blue. I am taking a Pitt pen and I'm going to start writing the words I want in here. I will not have time to get all this done if I don't jump in quick, get a little help from a marker. So in a world full of divas, be a cowgirl. We're grabbing both brown and the honey brown on our brush at the same time, and we're going to come in here and get started painting our hat. Now, this is a wood canvas. It's a 9 by 12, and I've already put down, well, I lightly sanded it because when you get them in the, from the stores, they are not fully sanded. So I lightly sanded it with my gator. I don't see it. I guess I put it up. And then I put 2 coats of multi-purpose sealer by DecoArt, and that gives your wood a really nice base to take the paint. So if you have painted on wood and just gone in raw, you are missing out, because if you'll put down that multi-purpose sealer, your paint will go on. I don't know if y'all can tell how smooth it goes on. And it normally doesn't go on like that on wood. It seals your wood so that your wood doesn't soak up all that paint. Because if you're just going in painting, a lot of that is going into the wood, so you're having to do 2 or 3 coats. So there's a little tip for you. We're going to have to let this layer dry. I always do this where I try to come back over it too soon. So we're going to let this dry and go on to the rest of the hat. And while that's drying, we'll move on. Okay, I'm going to dry this so that we can go on and do part 2. Okay, that's probably dry enough. A few little swirls in here, make our hat look a little older. I'm doing this upside down, y'all, so I don't paint upside down anymore. I usually have my camera straight down on my surface. Okay, let me show you a little bit. That's what we have so far. Okay, let's think about this. Let's put... I can hardly do this upside down anymore, you guys. I feel so rusty. Put a little darkness in here. I gotta turn this towards me. Hold on. Yeah, that's what I need to do. Hold please. We're gonna bring this part up here. There, that's better. Y'all are gonna laugh when you see this. I was like, what is wrong with this? Yeah. Okay. I didn't have this darkness in here. From upside down, I could not figure out what I was doing wrong. There. There we go. See? Y'all see how easy? I used one brush on this entire thing so far and just a few colors. I'm going to do a black band because I'm going to put stuff on it. So there's our little band. Let's do our flowers real quick. Okay, don't judge. You know that little funny thing that's like, we listen and we don't judge, and then people tell something and you're just like, oh my gosh, but you can't judge, right? So I'm going to show you this, but don't judge, because I do this in my sketchbooks where it's just like a quick, let's see what it would look like kind of thing. And this is the hat, and it's got all the flowers. But see, that's not going to work with what I'm doing. But there's your idea. You can just do some pretty flowers. I'm going to use this little, I used to make a lot of jewelry. This is the one that I thought would be cute. So you see why I don't want to put like pink flowers and stuff. I'm just going to paint this in brown just for this version. So we're going to do resin. I use art resin, and I usually will take my cup and mark on it. It's 1-to-1 ratio. I'm going to do 3 ounces total. Wear gloves when you're using resin. And I won't give you my long spiel about resin, but I do beg of you to do your research, because so many people are using resin today. They're not all safe. Some of them can get in the air, the little chemicals get in the air, and you breathe that in. So please, please do your research. And for you ladies, like the VIP ladies from my group, they have heard me so many times talk about this, that they are sick to death of it. But I try every time I use it to remind people to research what you're using. Know what's in there. Know what it can do to your body. Because just because a company says it's safe doesn't necessarily mean it's safe. So Art Resin brand is a 1-to-1 ratio, which means if I use 1.5 ounces of one, I use 1.5 ounces of the other. We're stirring slow and easy. I get to talking fast, and so I start stirring fast, but really slow and easy wins the race. Scrape your sides as you go. Scrape the bottom of the cup as you go. Scrape, let it come off your stick, and then work it back in and stir more. We're done with stirring our resin. Gotta find a clean brush. I always give it the once over to be sure no little particles have landed on it or anything. You got to be sure your ink is dry. I have lots of pretties to play with, but we're making this a Western cowgirl hat. So we've got all kind of, these are all gemstones. Like, you know what I'm talking about? This is like howlite or whatever that's called. I don't know what that is. It's probably not onyx, but it's something like that. And, you know, is that jasper? I'm not sure what the brown one is. And then our little turquoise. So these will be so pretty on here. Real excited to do this one. And then I use like a silicone spatula to kind of spread it out. Now, the art resin that I use, and I'm not an affiliate, so I get nothing by sharing what I use with you guys, but it is self-leveling. But you do have to do your part. You do have to get it to the edges and, you know, and all that. Now, if you're new to resin, you're going to want to turn this over before you begin this and tape the back with painter's tape. So because I've done this for so long, I can bring it to the edge without it going over. But I promise you, you'll be so much better off just taping the back, and then you don't have to worry about it as much. If it runs over, it'll stick, obviously, stick this to whatever it's sitting on. So it's a good idea to not only tape the back, but then it's got to be on a level surface, but then set it up on like blocks, jars, something that are both level. So your desk needs to be level, and then those two items, whatever you put it on, put the level across that and be sure they're level. And then if it runs over, it's going to stick to the tape that's on the back side, and you'll be okay. At this point, I'm going to take my little butane torch, turn it to the on position, and it's ready to go. I've already filled it with butane. About 3 to 6 inches off would be, you know, best practice. I try to pop all the bubbles. Okay, y'all like the black too. Let's just throw down the black. So we've got that down. We are gonna, let's see, I wanted to use turquoise on one and just throw those down like a little cluster. It's like a little faux flower. And also, I'm gonna take my resin and just kind of drizzle a little bit on these. That's all they need. And then I'll put a couple more on top, which that drizzle that I just did will help these to kind of stick to it. So there's that one. And then I think I want this color. I think I'm going to put these down here. You have about 30 minutes, maybe longer, but I try not to go longer if I can help it. From the time that we, you know, when the 3 minutes is up of stirring, you've got about 30 to 40 minutes to do your thing, to figure out your, you know, where you want. So I always kind of have a plan in my head of where things are going to go so that I don't have to push it, because it'll start curing and it will get harder to kind of move things around. I like to have a pair of tweezers so that I can just kind kind of push things where they need to go. That's really cute right there. And then always have a toothpick handy so we can pick up, you know, like a little, I see a little flake or something in here. I'll take that out. I also have these cute little things. So these are a pair of earrings, you guys. If any of you shop at Temu, Dollar Tree, things like that, if you see things like that that are earrings or just like an item that you like that are a part of earrings, you know, take them off and use them on your art or on your craft projects. So that's just all that is it was a, see the, I don't know if y'all can see, but on the back there was that little post. I just cut that off. And so I'm going to try to lay that down. We'll see if it lays down. It may not. It did. Perfect. Hey, that's not bad. That's cute. That's perfect. And then for the band in our hat, I was going to do black, but I've decided I'm going to do white. I think this needs a little bit of brightening up. So you see why my painting, you know, I didn't need to paint all the flowers because we're going to do this to them. And we've pretty much got her done. So my mom always said, hold your horses. Do y'all have any phrases like that your family said growing up? Especially, you know, like I'm obviously born and raised in Texas. So that's probably why sometimes I laugh, you know, when I say the same things she said. So the things that I would cringe as a teenager, like, oh my gosh, that's so nerdy. Here I am saying them. So it's even more nerdy now because it was the old-timey phrase. So let me know if y'all have a funny phrase like that or something similar. Okay, so let me pop bubbles again. I'm going to tilt it as best I can. My little iPad is in the way. Okay. So in a world full of divas, be a cowgirl. Now, I didn't say that a cowgirl can't be a diva. So if you want to know more about glass, I cut my own glass, so that's another, I don't know if y'all can see anything. You really can't, but that back there is about all that you can see. But I do cut my own glass and show you guys how to in the VIP group. But I do lots of tutorials also, watch YouTube, and then I'll go ahead and drizzle a little bit over the stuff that I laid down. Only because it gives it a really nice shine. It's gonna, if you set something down in resin like I did, it's not budging. Once this cures, it's on there permanently. But I will go ahead and give everything the once over. We have lots of resin left, so I'm glad I didn't make more than that. I hope you enjoyed this. I just play with it, be sure it's perfect. Once it's perfect, you know, perfect, I put it on my level desk over here and cover it with a plastic tub. And then about every 15 minutes, I take a look at it and be sure that nothing has moved. And if it has, I just take a toothpick and just kind of move it back. Sometimes little beads or things will kind of float. So that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you'll come back and see me again. Bye, guys.